Good afternoon, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talks. Hope everybody's having a great Sunday morning and enjoying their weekend. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about a comment. I'm always reading people's comments. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Leave me a comment because I love reading them comments. And it gives me something to kind of talk about. Don't even waste any time. Hit that thumbs up button down there right now. Okay. So with that being said, the comment, I don't know why you buy silver, because you lose money when you buy it and then you lose more money when you sell it. Is that true or is that false? To a certain point, it can be true. It really can be. And not just for the reason that I stated in yesterday's video, but for a whole nother level, because a lot of times people will buy silver either from Facebook groups and then run the risk of having fake silver, or they're going to buy from some eBay or online seller where in some cases they never really get their money back. They end up getting some coins, they're fake, and they kind of have to eat the purchase. Maybe they get their money back in, I don't know, a month or two, and it's just headaches. Or they're buying from one of the big online dealers at kind of a high price. And the reason I say a high price is because if they don't really know what they're doing, they're just going to buy from the first place that pops up, the search engine. I'm not going to sit here and belittle any specific companies, but a lot of these companies do pay Google to put their name first when you look up precious metals. You know, I want to go buy some precious metals. What comes up first? Probably whoever spends the most money on advertising, and that cost has to get passed on somewhere, and so we're paying it when we go to buy them. That's why I buy a lot of my stuff from Universal Coin and Bullion. I'm not opening a package today. Usually when I mention them, I'm opening up one of their packages, either for myself or for somebody else, or I'm letting someone else open a package and I'm just kind of narrating it a little. So with that being said, now it can sting if you end up buying from one of these companies. You pay high, and so that comment, not necessarily is it wrong. In some cases, you can overpay. I always tend to pick up the deals if I see deals. It's not just Universal. I see coin companies that offer some good deals now and then. I just happen to see more all the time deals at Universal, so that's why I buy from them. Their services, their customer service is great because I'm good friends with Chris Tribble. He's on the channel all the time. He'll probably put a comment below this video if he sees it. And, you know, so he's a great all-around guy, and he takes care of the people on the channel. Now, with that being said, can you end up getting burned? Absolutely. So how about when you go to sell it? So when you go to sell your silver, if you're not doing it right, and I'm going to talk about the actual right way to buy and the right way to sell towards a little further into the video. So you don't want to miss that, because it's a tip and a trick that once people start doing it, they're usually really on board with doing it. And they're like, oh my word, I wish I had done this sooner. And I always hear it from people, and you know, there's a lot of people just don't really think about it because maybe they're shy, maybe they just don't know how to talk to people. But it makes a big difference, and it makes a big difference on your stack as you continue to grow your stack. So selling, a lot of times when people go to sell their stack, what do they do first? They either take the first coin shop that's near them, and in some cases, they don't even know who the guy is working behind the counter. They bring their silver in. Hey, I got this 5-ounce bar of silver. What can I get? And you're liable to say, here, I'll give you $100 for it. Or you take it to a pawn shop and you're liable to hear, again, I'll give you $100 for it, maybe even lower in some cases. I'm not going to sit here and diss pawn shops. I got an amazing friend of mine that she is the manager of a pawn shop in Maine. And she's in business. She's got to, you know, make money. And it is a business. So essentially you have to buy a little bit lower. That way you can end up selling it for a little bit more and make a profit. Now, how would I sell and buy if I'm going about it? Well, I already told you one thing, that my primary way of buying is Universal Coin and Bullion. This is not a sales pitch for them. But my secondary way of buying is by creating a group of friends that I know. You can call them friends, you can call them acquaintances. All of them started out as acquaintances. Basically, I might go in to a restaurant or an establishment and put down something like this on the table along with my car keys, and it's just sitting there. Somebody walks by and they see that. What are you going to think? You're going to, oh, wow, what's that? Oh, that's a pretty coin. Oh, wow. And then you start talking to them about it. Or you might just point blank pull it out and say, hey, I'll tell you what, I really need that tire fixed. I don't have a ton of money right now. Will you take this? And they'll look at it and they'll be like, oh, wow. And I've done these strategies before. Everything I'm telling you is something that I've done. Or you might need some work done. When I did a video talking specifically about this before, I got one gentleman. I wish I could remember who it was. He had an amazing comment because he uses it to barter to this day. Bartering is a skill that very few people know how to do now. And I believe they're going to learn, though. They're just going to learn the hard way, and they're going to be behind the curve. And it also works when you're selling, because here's the thing. Let's hypothetically say I need, $200 right now, and I don't want to end up getting burned. I would take this maybe. That's probably $125 and take 3 of these. I could go to anybody in my trade group and say, hey, look, I need $200 right now. You give me $200 for this? And what do you think they're going to say? Most of them are going to say yes. Why? Because they know they're real. They don't have any question about that. You're already in the group. And essentially they trust you. And on top of that, if they buy this from maybe another dealer, they might pay $26 an ounce. So if they can get it for $25, it's a steal for them. And in some cases, if there's not really any takers, they're willing to go lower, which means you could get a better deal. However, it's rare that I've ever seen where someone's trying to sell silver and they can't get any takers. I know that sounds funny because a lot of you guys may or may not have tried to sell. I see the comments all the time. I've never sold any of my silver, or I've, this and that. I'll be honest, I've had to sell much of my silver over times. And maybe that you can call that, well, that's bad budgeting. That's bad planning. Or I'm overspending on silver, and at the end of the month, if I don't have enough for something that I need, I know I'm going to have no problem taking any of this to a group, and I'm going to get my money back. Some people will disagree with that. I don't know how to argue with someone that just don't believe whatever they want to believe. Some people are set in their ways because maybe they got burned. But if you're creating a group and everybody in the group realizes that this has a value, and they're all going to look online and see, well, what's online bullion dealers selling it for? Well, shoot, I'll add, 10 ounces to my stack. I'll add 8 ounces to my stack right now. Why? Because here's the truth of the matter. Let's say you are out to eat with friends, and a friend is a little light on money, and he pulls this out and says, hey, man, you give me $25 for that. I didn't bring enough cash with me. Would anybody in the chat room right now be like, oh, heck no, I wouldn't give him $25. Of course you would. You're getting sound money put in your hand right now when you're pulling something out of your wallet to give to him. If you've got the $25 in cash and you're a stacker, you probably would give him. Now, somebody out there is commenting right now, I wouldn't give him $25 for it. But you know what? That person that says that is probably not a stacker. They're not stacking silver up already. So there's a big difference between the people. If you're a stacker and you have a chance to pick up an ounce, that's how you know you're a serious stacker, because you recognize this is real money, not paper that eventually will, filter out and go to zero little by little. You recognize that. So you're going to put it up and you're going to add it to your stack. And that's the best way to buy. buying from friends, buying from your group that you've instilled. And you know what? When he needs money, just like this bar right here, you guys seen that I did a story on these not too long back, a video where somebody was desperate for money and went to somebody else in the group and said, hey, I got 6 of these bars. I'm looking to get $20 an ounce. I mean, I'm happy, with $20 an ounce. I paid 16, but I really need the money right now. And the person that he went to said, heck yeah, I'll give you that for him. And the next person he called was me and said, hey, I got these bars at $20 an ounce. You give me 22 an ounce? I said, yep, of course I would. Because I recognize it's a deal. It's cheaper than what I would buy anywhere because that's essentially $1 under spot right now. At the time, it was $2 under spot. But a lot of people know that, price fluctuates, and a lot of people are thinking right now that silver is going to plunge back down below 20. I'm not personally convinced of that, even though I will say I understand their reasoning. I understand that they think, that the stock market's going to tank and it's going to have massive positions sell off their paper silver and their paper gold, and that sell off is going to drive the paper price even lower, the spot price. But the truth of the matter is it could happen. I just don't think it's going to play out like that. And usually their answer is, well, it happened like that during 2008. It happened like that during 2000. It happened like that during 2020. So it's going to happen like that this time. And maybe they're right, but I personally don't think that it's the correct answer. I'm going to keep stacking the deals when I can get a deal. And I'm going to try to trade, buy, sell, whatever in my group if I need the money. And that's it. So, I mean, it makes sense to do it that way. Not everybody is going to want to take the time to educate people on silver or gold or whatever. However, like I said, it makes a big difference because when you teach these people, who do you think they're going to come to first when they sell their stack? I can tell you probably 10 people right now that if they decided tomorrow they were going to sell some of their silver because they had an emergency coming up, they've already said, you're going to be the first one I go to see if you know somebody or if you can, and usually if it's depending on how much they're looking to get, might define if I'm going to buy it or if I'm going to help them meet up with someone and say, I'll tell you what, I know someone right now that will buy this stack off you for X amount of dollars, but I really like this one. I want this out of the stack first. And they're going to say, if I'm getting the money I want, of course. So it pays to know people. So with that being said, be smart about how you buy, how you sell, and hopefully you hit the thumbs up button. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys again tomorrow on another great video. Don't forget to comment because I love reading y'all's comments. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I don't care what anybody says. I think silver is a great investment, but that's just my opinion, not investment advice. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend.